what you said earlier, that most of the ecosystem you were describing and for which the resources you listed are available was more of a focus on individual learners finding and using things. What about faculty who are responsible for creating or enhancing a course to have more of the features that you were talking about? And what about students who, for whatever reason, seem to think that they want to learn in groups more than individually? How does that fit in with what you've been talking about?
Sure. Thank you. And I think most of the delivery of CBE is in a course-based model. So it is very much focused on groups, both in online, hybrid, as well as traditional classroom delivery. The one piece had to do with the role of faculty in terms of ensuring the academic integrity, because we have some principles, quality principles, that have come out of the competency-based education network that talk about things such as ensuring the faculty involvement in developing both the curricular content and the assessments of that learning, so that when an institution has verified the attainment of a competency, it's clearly been from a faculty perspective. And the regional accreditors require that, and rightly so. But at the same time, what you are seeing is a great unbundling of faculty roles, because we have many people who can spend all day long creating lectures for Guide on the side and all, and we can capture the best of that delivery mode. Yet there are others who can work with students as faculty mentors, some of the Western Governors University models and things that you see, in which they help move you through a sequence of competencies in your interaction with OERs and online courses, but then they make sure that the learning is occurring, and they also meet the needs of at-risk students and students who want to accelerate or taking longer. So I think you're seeing more and more unbundling faculty roles. First is, ever since Center for Academic Transformation and Carol Twigg and other work on costs and structures of online courses, we have faculty involved in course development and realizing savings of amortizing those savings over time, and spending a lot on senior faculty or instructional designers, and then bringing in perhaps more junior faculty, others that can ensure that student work is being done, and essentially flipping the classroom and looking to make sure that student needs are met. And the same thing occurs within a CBE class structure as well. In terms of teamwork, there's so many more possibilities that are available if you use the lens of competencies, because you can pair people based on what we call, the old concept in student development, horizontal décollage, people who are at slightly above you, at the same level, slightly below you, so that you can inspire, you can learn from, you can be pulled up with the drive and interest of other students that are like you. I think so often the classroom is an amorphous group in which people build networks informally and have friendships, and they study together. But if you can cluster work around competencies and put people together who are working on similar things and have assignments that force them to work. One of the beautiful things out of some of the models for distance learning is that they use FrLv, they use students as co-facilitators of the learning process. So we have faculty involved, but faculty can be involved in creating the curriculum, creating the OERs, and ensuring that learning is taking place. But we promote a model where students and learners are actively engaged in learning together and helping each other learn, and learning more as a process of teaching it to others and sharing it with others. And you could say that happens in a non-CBE course, and it should, but by having the language of an integrated curriculum of competencies and having things be performance-based, where we look at what the artifacts, what are the products of that learning that come out, and then how do we evaluate those in terms of consistent and transparent rubrics. Those are all good principles of teaching and learning, but the they were associated with CBE and competency-based learning even more so as key quality principles. So I think all that fits in.
So, excuse me. So the surprise in your response to my question is that, in fact, it sounds like competency-based education and the ways in which you've been describing its growing integration with open education resources fits well with course-based education, fits well with faculty role as development and monitor, guide, facilitator of a course, and fits well with students learning together in groups when organized and oriented and, I guess you'd say, managed based on competency-based principles. Is that a fair description?
It does. And the one thing that people need to be most aware of, and if you've been following the CBE world, you're aware of the U.S. Department of Education Inspector General's report about Western Governors University, because they've raised this issue that's implicit in expectations for distance learning versus correspondence education. And that has, in Title IV-A language, the expectation there will be regular and substantive interaction between faculty and students. So part of that came out in the previous higher education